Well, this afternoon, Portland police, along with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, addressed the vandalism that took place last week during the pro-Palestinian protests.
Let's get out to Fox 12's Paulina Aguilar, who has all the details. Paulina?
Well, Pete and Riel, this press conference pertained to the damage done to PSU Library, damage done to businesses nearby, and the fire set to 15 police cruisers at their training facility. Now, all of the authorities that you just mentioned are still working together to find those responsible, but they have one clear message, and that those actions last Thursday will not be tolerated. On May 2nd, chaos ensued in downtown Portland.
We don't find this behavior acceptable, nor are we going to tolerate it. We support people's First Amendment rights, but when people engage in acts of vandalism and violence, that is a crime, and we will hold people accountable because it is unacceptable behavior.
Along with the destruction of police cruisers and the vandalism at the PSU Library, several businesses on Southwest Broadway Street were also damaged. Portland police say a flyer titled "May Day Scavenger Hunt" was put up just before the protest at PSU began. The flyer shows a list of businesses that should be targeted.
I find this to be very troubling. The bold statement of violence, people are in those buildings. I mean, that was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. People were in that Starbucks, etc.
Whether smashing a business window or terrorizing ordinary people just because they are on site doing their jobs, your behavior shows the community who you are and what you stand for.
Day points out cartoon characters on the poster who are holding examples of explosives.
At one of the local establishments, we did find commercial-grade firework left next to the building.
In Northeast Portland earlier that morning, 15 vehicles were set on fire at the Portland Police Training Facility. PPB presented a social media post taking responsibility for the arson, saying, quote, "We torched some PBB cars at their training facility. We cut through a fence, set 10 fires, and are happy it grew to burn 15 cars." Then it goes on to state, quote, "If the cops come, just don't resist, arrest, fight."
Somebody knows something about those fires and they need to come forward. And
the ugliness of this behavior is only highlighted by the unconscionable act, in my opinion, of hijacking the First Amendment rights of people who are protesting peacefully.
I believe that these social media posts and some of these actions we're seeing around anger and hatred are crippling our city.
Portland police are continuing to investigate who is responsible for damaging those businesses and who is responsible for setting that fire. If you have any information, they're asking witnesses to please come forward. Reporting in downtown Portland, Paulina Aguilar, Fox 12 Oregon.
Paulina, thank you.